In this video we will be demonstrating stored phrases, pop-up phrases and handwriting recognition. We are preparing a separate video demonstrating the integrated dictation method, so please view this separately if you are interested in using that functionality. Upon entering the kitchen, I like to add any obvious items present that aren't in my default set before beginning the descriptions. This allows me to free flow through the description and comment process, and in my view it also helps ensure no items are missed. However, the appliances I am now adding as sub-items of the kitchen appliance set for demonstration purposes could easily be included in the default item set for a furnished kitchen. I will also add kitchen cutlery and a dining table and chairs as separate main items. To describe this ceiling, we just need some very common stored phrases, shown in blue on the left. I'll click the A button now to assign this description to other rooms. By ticking Overwrite items if exist, I ensure it copies the description to the other rooms selected, rather than adding a new ceiling item in those rooms. To describe the lighting, I'll use the quantity menu in combination with a stored phrase. Now I'll add more than one comment with the Another Comment button, and use a stored phrase, punctuation and another stored phrase together. Note that I've set up this walls item so that each wall in a room is included automatically as a separate sub-item. Pop-up phrases in green are often a good way of adding more specific comments and descriptions. They work by bringing up vocabulary options in a pre-configured order and also allow for the automatic insertion of text between your selections. The key to using these pop-up phrases quickly is familiarity with the contents and customization. After a little usage, choosing the appropriate one becomes second nature. We'll use quite a few more of these in this room, so if you're following, you'll begin building your familiarity already. As the skirting is the same throughout the property, I will assign these descriptions to the other rooms, but leave the comments as they may vary. Most floor types are predictable, and this is no exception, so we can use a stored phrase. I'll write this next comment in, as I don't think it will fit one of the pop-up phrase patterns I've configured. I'll store two different parts of this phrase to the left list by highlighting them and hitting the bank button, as I think they may be independently useful in future. Once again, like most items, most likely configurations are easily predictable, as are their fixtures for instance. We've got every typical type of handle stored on the left. As usual, I'll assign this item to every room, but this time you'll notice that I tick the Add Sub-Items box because I want to make sure the descriptions for the door frame and handle are also copied across to the rooms that I've selected. The windows are painted grey, and as this is unusual, I don't have a stored phrase for it. I'll use this very useful pop-up instead. And a more specific damage. I may as well copy the description for the window frame from the window by highlighting and clicking the copy button, which then changes to a paste button. For this handle description, I'll combine a pop-up phrase and a stored phrase. And I'll delete this automatically included sub-item as it doesn't apply. Now I'll assign all the descriptions and sub-items to the windows in other rooms. Because there are two windows in the same wall in this room, I'll duplicate the window by selecting the D button. I'll copy not only the descriptions but the comments, as the two windows are in a very similar condition. However, as the windowsill is not chipped on the second window, I'll remove that comment. And finally, I'll identify one as the left-hand window and the other as the right-hand window by using stored phrases on the left. It's easy to store practically every commonly encountered configuration of sockets in a room as a stored phrase. First of all, I'll add the switches there are as sub-items of this group. The order that they are ticked in will be the initial order in which they are listed. So if I wish to add them in the order light switch, fused spur, I'll make sure I tick them in that order. I'll write in the purpose of the fused switch and fused spur, as it doesn't fit a stored phrase or a pop-up phrase very well. For kitchen units of matching finish, I'll add a general description and comment for all the units first. I have previously set up a tailored pop-up phrase to describe the surface and any handles of kitchen units, and I've called it Describe Unit. I'll also write in with matching plinths and bank it as a stored phrase for future use. Now I'll add a general comment. And I'll bank it because it refers to all units, which may be useful in the future. You notice that we have set up the item so it automatically includes 3 sub-items: lower units, upper units, and work surface, which all have relevant sub-items of their own. I will now add the lower units as sub-items. And I'll describe them by using a combination of stored numbers, the item name, and a stored number of shelves. Now I'll repeat the exercise for the upper units. If you prefer, you might wish to call this item wall-mounted units instead. If I want to make a separate remark for one of the 2 cupboards I've listed here later, I can use the Add Description button to create a new line for the cupboard I wish to describe. Finally, I'll delete these cupboard sub-items as they're already described by the general descriptions above.